totally baseless.
Hey, it's Totally Baseless, where we talk about news in a way you probably haven't heard before, with some great insights from Dave and Dan, who are with me on the line. How are you guys doing?
Doing good today.
Every day is a good day.
All right. Oh, with that kind of optimism, we should get started into some sexual harassment. That's our first news story, which we're looking at you guys for your insight into Jerry Lewis being now not proven in a court of law, but accused of sexual harassment and sexual assault. Several well-known women like Jill St. John, the Italian actress Anna Maria Alberghetti, Karen Sharp, and many, many others. These are the ones that we know about, but with this kind of pattern of behavior, it does not look good for fans of the Nutty Professor. The original, not the Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, 10 years from now, Eddie Murphy's going to be in hot water.
After he's been dead for 5 years? Yeah.
I think that's the pattern. Once you die, then it all comes out.
Yeah. While you're alive, you're a humanitarian. When you're dead, you're that guy that can keep your hands off of anybody.
But really, this is kind of becoming on brand for comedians. It's like now they're all a bunch of handsy sexual harassers, right?
Oh, man.
Yeah, you're a comedian. You got to be some sort of pervert or something.
Well, it's kind of like trying to prove too hard. No, I'm really not this nerdy guy that I play in my silly movies. I'm really a suave, handsome guy. Let me prove it to you.
Well, it just goes to show how this has always been the case. I mean, the Me Too thing came out just not that long ago, just pushing back on the handsy professor.
But if you really want to go all the way back, I mean, Charlie Chaplin. Friend of the program, Fatty Arbuckle. You know,
Hey, what happened to Fatty Arbuckle? What happened to Fatty Arbuckle, though, right?
Yes,
he died.
He was acquitted, but they blackballed him just to get the censors off of them. Not that he wasn't guilty. I have no idea.
Yeah, it doesn't end when you die. I was really surprised to see this because he's been dead since 2017, and it seems like this would have come out much earlier, especially since there were so many women coming out about him.
So there's Martin and Lewis, right? Everybody thought Dean Martin was kind of the bad one, and Jerry Lewis was the good one.
Yeah,
it's completely different, right? Lewis was the a-hole, and for all intents and purposes, Dean Martin was just
an alcoholic wife beater.
Yeah.
So.
But he was good. But then there was Laurel and Hardy. Right. Laurel was supposed on screen. Laurel was the good guy.
That's the skinny one, right?
Yes. And the fat guy Hardy was the bad guy. But in real life, Laurel was kind of the guy that was the a-hole, and Hardy was the hey, just going along with everything.
How was Hardy?
Hey, I'm just going along.
That sounds like Fat Albert too. Has he been accused of sexual harassment at all?
Well,
Bill Cosby,
the voice of Fat Albert.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's the smoothest segue you're ever going to see on any show.
But also, wait, when Abbott and Costello, the same thing.
No way. Are you serious?
Costello was the dick, and Abbott was the nice one.
Abbott was the fat one, right?
No,
yeah.
Costello was the fat one. Abbott was the skinny one.
Oh, okay. So he was mean, right? He was always mean to the fat one. I'm going to say the skinny one and the fat one.
On screen. In reality, Costello was the dick.
Or he showed his dick.
Maybe, but I mean,
maybe.
Yeah. Just saying.
Huh. So
one to grow on.
One to grow on.
Oh,
that's
the more you know.
The more, yeah. Well, you might be stealing one of Jerry Lewis's lines there. Come here, sit on. It's one to grow on. But I guess Jerry Lewis, Karen Sharp said that, wait a minute, I don't know this is a requirement for your leading ladies, but this is something I don't do, when Jerry Lewis started to grope and fondle her. And she said, I could see that he was furious, and it looked like people didn't really say no to Jerry Lewis.
It's the whole "I'm the funny guy, I'm harmless" thing, right?
Yeah.
Then like you don't hear like these the serious British actors. You never hear like Ben Kingsley being accused of being handsy, or like Alec Guinness.
they're so sly, right? And English and proper. They do it in such a polite way that the women take it as a compliment instead.
Like, oh, damn it.
Afterwards when they're walking out, they're like, "That's what that was." Holy shit! I've been groped.
Yep. Well, comedians just recently, was it Lee? Well, you mentioned Bill Cosby and also Louis C.K. I think he's is he uncanceled or is he still canceled?
He's slowly
You
climbing out
can
of
get
that.
out.
If you're popular enough, I think you can, right? I mean,
Like if you were Jim Brewer, he'd still be canceled. It's like,
oh yeah. Listen, if he was Pauly Shore, he'd be missing, gone, and I mean, he hasn't been a
his
thing
career
for
most
years,
certainly,
right?
but
His career,
yeah. But I guess people don't know now how big Jerry Lewis was in the 50s and 60s. In 1959, he signed the largest contract ever for $10 million between a studio and a performer. So I don't know if people today, especially younger people, have seen his movies or anything, but he was, let's see, who would be the equivalent today of the biggest comedian in the world?
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart. Okay, yeah, he was the Kevin Hart of his day.
He was the Rock of his day.
The Rock and Kevin Hart put together. I think Jerry Lewis. Well, there was a lot less media competition, so he's probably a couple combined now these days. There's on three stations and movie theaters, and that's all you had.
Is it really so
family-friendly guy though? Too, he made these silly movies where he's like this nebbish guy or non-threatening or so inept that you can never be threatened by him, right?
But
I tell you, Your Honor, could I have done that? I was Cinderella, for goodness sakes.
It's kind of telling that he's like a French icon. I'm just saying, right? I mean, maybe the French saw something in him, right? They're like, this guy knows.
Oh, he is like Pepe Le Pew, only come to life.
With that bit of, there's no racism, nationalism.
Well, that implies we're afraid of the French, right? If you're talking xenophobia, but no one's afraid of the French.
So we'll keep going down that road. Nothing to be afraid of. It's the French. Is that what you're saying?
They're a speed bump.
No one surrenders faster.
All right. With that, we'll take it over into our next story about the new Batman movie, which none of us have seen, I think, but we're gonna. There's a lot of articles coming out about the Batman movies being ranked from best to worst. So I'll start us off with a trivia question. In what year did the first Batman appear on the silver screen?
Sometime in the 40s.
What do you say, Dan?
1938, because why not?
Yeah, actually, 1943 was the first actor to play Batman. Some guy named Lewis Wilson.
And
good old
Lewis Wilson, yes.
That's right.
The Troy McClure of his time.
The best Batman ever.
You know Lewis Wilson, of course.
He went on
to him from his other superhero movies.
He went on to die a lonely death.
So he was actually the youngest actor to take on the Batman role. He was only 23 back then, which means he would be dead now. Yes, that's right. And then
Francisco Franco.
Robert Lowry played him in 1949, and then Adam West played him in the iconic, campy 1960s live-action Batman.
I think that's who most of us remember, and that was our first.
Most of us of a certain age, I think.
Yeah.
Kind of saying, not everyone's your age, you know.
Well, I mean, most of us who are in this room speaking to each other.
I think
our first exposure to.
So you've just given us away. We're not Gen Z. We're probably not millennials.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they could hear our voice and go, "Yeah, these guys are old."
Yeah. So I'm sure some people are going, "Oh yeah, I remember way back when, before I was born, that Christian Bale was the Batman I grew up with. He's the iconic, old-timey Batman."
Yeah, my parents told me about that other guy who played Batman.
Michael
Keaton.
Yeah, Michael Keaton. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I always thought he looked a little bit more like a bad guy. Like he has a kind of a rat face to me, Michael Keaton.
You know, the Batman movie, the two that he did, Batman and Batman Returns, were good movies. I just could never buy him as Bruce Wayne. you put a mask over his face.
Ah, I can believe he's Batman.
Yeah, I can believe he's
As soon
Batman.
as the mask came on, huh?
Yeah, this is
Leave him as a millionaire.
He doesn't have the Batman. He doesn't have the Bruce Wayne hair.
I don't see him as
To
being
me, Bruce
successful.
To me,
You don't
Bruce
look
Wayne
like
has
a
a nice head of hair.
Well, I think
No.
we can. The easier thing to agree on is Heath Ledger is definitely the best Joker.
Yes,
Is that any dissenting?
I would
you know,
agree with that.
And I really hated Jack Nicholson as the Joker.
I thought it was too over the top.
He was way, yeah. He was playing like Adam West TV style
Yeah,
Joker,
yeah.
and it was kind of moving towards. a
And the
grittier-
only reason they got him is because he's got that smile, right? That look that he has, that shit-eating grin that he has whenever they would do a close-up of him at the Forum when the Lakers played. So if anyone understands what I'm talking about.
You're very specific with your references, but yes.
While holding
know
the beer
it.
in the third quarter. Remember that one
Yeah,
game?
yeah,
against the
yeah,
Utah
exactly.
Jazz?
Exactly. I'm sitting there talking to that guy that he always talks to on his right.
Yeah. And you know,
Kurt Rambis came and rolled up on him trying to chase down a rebound. It was that night.
Yeah, that look, that look,
he looked
look.
especially.
Yeah, that's the look
Yeah,
that got
yeah.
him the Batman movie. For me, the best Bruce Wayne, as far as looks like Bruce Wayne.
Wait, is there a difference? Can we have a best Bruce Wayne versus a best Batman?
Yeah, why not? I mean,
Sure. It's our show.
why not? Yeah, exactly.
Do you allow
who's gonna
me
who's
to
gonna
do
who's
that?
gonna say we're wrong? Who's gonna deny us?
Okay, your comments can go to
Yeah.
Dave at totallybaseless.com.
All the hardcore comic book people
Oh yeah,
we're
we're
about to
gonna
piss off.
Yeah, Ben Affleck to me is the best Bruce Wayne. He's got the hair and he's got the look of an old Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
The worst looking Bruce Wayne was Michael Keaton, but he was in one of the better Batman movies.
Ferret face.
Yeah. I mean, but you put the mask on, right? He's got the nose and the chin of a Batman.
I don't know. Val
Take off-
Kilmer makes a good douchey rich guy, though. He comes off as a good douchey rich guy.
Yeah,
Who?
I think he's good
Val
as a
Kilmer.
Bruce Wayne.
I didn't like Val Kilmer as Bat. Oh, well, no.
But as
No.
Bruce Wayne, he was like,
He's supposed to be
movies-
kind of an asshole as
Yeah,
Bruce
Yeah.
Wayne, right?
The movie sucked, but yeah, he was good. George
Yeah, Val
Clooney,
Kilmer.
another guy who's good as a Batman and as a Bruce Wayne, but in a really crappy movie. I mean, they threw in the whole family. All you needed was Batmite. You had Robin. You had
The dog and
dog,
Yeah.
the girl, everybody. They put the whole Bat Clan in there, but it was just a shitty movie.
yeah, it's just a convoluted mess. That
Yeah.
one,
yeah, they're just trying to make like a live action cartoon. Which
Yeah, and it was bad. It was bad. Was that the one they gave him nipples? And that was
Yeah.
a big controversy.
Yeah, that's the big nipple one.
Yeah.
So definitely not the best one.
No.
I do like the Lego Batman movie.
Yeah.
That was pretty
That's-
funny.
freaking hilarious. Yeah.
So Will
was great.
Arnett is the best Batman voice to me.
Yes. Yeah.
He's
Will
so
Arnett-
funny anyway.
Yeah, no, I think Will Arnett was doing the voice that Ben Affleck wishes he could do.
He was,
And it was
like
Will
a-
Arnett like goofing on how super serious, and Ben Affleck was trying to do that.
Listen, okay, here's my Batman Frankenstein. Will Arnett's voice, Ben Affleck body,
Bruce Wayne.
both as Batman and Bruce Wayne
Okay.
in the Tim Burton Batman. I think that would be a really good Batman movie.
Can we throw in Nicole Kidman from the early 90s?
Heath
Yeah.
Ledger's Joker. That would be like the
Heath
ultimate
Ledger's
mashup.
Joker. Oh, man.
You know who else did a pretty good Joker? Cesar Romero.
Cesar
No, I'm
Romero.
kidding. Jared Leto. They could have
Make your
did
case.
a better
Make
job
your case.
if it was a better movie. How about that? But
If the
I
movie
like
didn't suck, he would have been good.
Yeah.
Movie didn't suck.
yeah. I mean, if they gave him somewhere to go, I thought it was interesting.
I didn't like the teeth thing. The teeth thing kind of threw me off. He looked like Dr. Teeth from the Muppets to me.
He looked like Jaws from that old James Bond movie where he's biting the wire.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It was a little distracting. I couldn't focus. The glint in his teeth.
Yeah.
Jared Leto bugs me. He always just, I think he's like trying too hard to be like the cool, like quirky emo kid, and like
Maybe he's just like that.
maybe, but he bugs
I
me.
mean,
I don't know.
He's
Yeah,
an
yeah.
actor.
It's like with that shitty band. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't get over him and his shitty band.
Yeah, they had that one good song.
No, they didn't.
I like that. I like I like the
Okay,
song.
I didn't.
But ask me what the title of the song is, and I can't tell you, but I liked it.
All right, I'm gonna throw it out there. Dark Knight, the Chris Nolan. That's the best
The best ones.
quality. I
Yeah.
mean, not for like ironic laughs.
No.
Just the
That's
best in terms of a a work of
Yeah.
art.
Yeah, all three of those are the best because they're the most realistic.
The most realistic Joker. that
They're
you've
the
ever
most
seen.
realistic.
Not-
See,
and
that's
the-
where I start. That's where I start having a problem with the comic book nerds. It's a fictional character. He's so realistic, but he's fictional, so it doesn't matter if he's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh yeah, but he's not fighting aliens that are coming here to take 3 boxes to control the rest of the universe.
because that could never happen, but this
No.
could happen.
This
Let's
could
just not
happen.
even get into Zack Snyder. He's
Yeah.
definitely the worst. His
Yeah,
style
I
does not match the Batman or DC universe thing. He was good for what's it called? He was good for
Watchmen.
The Watchmen.
Watchmen.
His style matched the Watchmen, and people thought, "Oh, this guy adjusts his style for the movie to make it great." But it turns out he just has that one style, and that's all he can do.
Like, oh,
and it doesn't
never
matter.
mind.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter what the material is. He's going to do the same thing every time.
I will give him that his cut of Justice League was a lot better than that hot mess that was released in the movies. That was bad. That
Oh.
the Joss Whedon.
The Dawn of Justice thing.
No. The Justice League.
Oh, Justice
League.
Those are a big mess to me. Yeah.
Yeah. I like.
Marvel-
You don't have
Marvel's
the Hall of
kicking their
Justice,
ass.
and you don't have the Wonder Twins. I'm out. So you know what?
Okay. What about that
Super
monkey?
Friends. Yeah, if you don't have Gleek, don't
Oh,
talk
man.
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
So
but
those three by far the best. And the
Yeah.
worst. Okay, I'm gonna say Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice, the worst. I hate the Zack Snyder thing.
yes, I'm agreeing with you. But like I said, I like.
Thank you. Okay, we'll end it right
No, no.
there.
I like. I
For
like
the record. Dave agrees with John. And
No,
Okay.
I like that Batman. I wanted to see Ben Affleck in his own Batman movie that Zack Snyder
Well,
doesn't shit all over.
Too late.
once
Now
again,
Robert Pattinson is taking
Yeah.
over.
Ben Affleck is just fashionable male. That's all.
but
That's who he is.
I would have liked to see what he could do if he directed a movie with
Like
playing
the
Batman.
backseat of a Volkswagen.
Yeah, exactly. In a very uncomfortable place.
Wait, what's that from?
Mallrats.
Mallrats.
Oh.
He likes to take women in a very uncomfortable place. The backseat of a Volkswagen.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, let's talk about uncomfortable places like the border. A new study came out talking about the effectiveness of Trump's border wall. So nearly 500 miles of wall was constructed, mostly in New Mexico and Arizona, which former President Trump called his big, beautiful wall and the Rolls Royce of barriers. But according to this study, 3,272 breaches of the wall were made using common power tools and stuff you could find at a hardware store for $100.
I could have saved him a lot of money because you put Mexicans with power tools together and we can do
Okay.
anything.
I think
That's
Se puede.
That's
I
what his
know.
major fuck up was. He
Exactly.
didn't use the right labor pool.
No.
from the wrong side of the border. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
But you give Mexicans power tools, they're gonna find a way to build a tunnel through that thing, right? I'm like,
Apparently so.
if Mexicans and power tools were on Gilligan's Island, that show would have been over a lot sooner than it was. I mean,
It would have been over in 15 minutes.
yeah, well, I mean, we can jerry rig anything, right? It may not look good, but it'll get the job done. I mean,
You'll
right,
you'll float to shore.
I mean, they cut through that fence, right? They cut enough of that fence or that wall that they were able to drive an SUV through there. I'm like,
on,
$11 billion down the drain, right? For
Yeah, 11
for
billion.
Mexicans with $100 power tools.
But, Rolls Royces are notorious for breaking down. I mean, if you want to keep going, extend the metaphor,
Yeah,
they look nice, but they always break down.
it is the
Yeah.
Yugo of barriers.
Yeah.
No, it was the Rolls Royce, the most expensive, very
An
expensive
piece of crap.
piece of shit. Exactly.
And that's really any Trump brand, right? It's a polished turd. What were
Yeah,
you expecting
yeah.
from this brand?
it looks great, but it's really just a piece of shit.
From the people that brought you Trump vodka and Trump steaks and Trump University.
The Trump wall. Yeah.
Anybody that can bankrupt a casino, you expect them to build a good wall? It's like,
Yeah. I bet you he used the same contractors he used for his.
No, I don't think he uses the same people twice, because once you don't
Oh
pay
yeah,
somebody,
he never pays. Yeah, he
Yeah,
never
they don't
pays
come
them.
back.
Yeah, he never
Yeah.
pays them.
So obviously no more work is being done on this wall, and it's so slowly being taken apart. It sounds like piece by piece. So one other little mess up we had is one of the U.S. Navy's fighter jets, an F-35C, the stealth fighter jet, crash landed on a carrier and then slipped into the ocean somewhere near the South China Sea. The Navy doesn't want China to get this very high-tech electronic warfare, a lot of computers, all the communications codes. I'm sure there's a lot they could get out of this jet. So there was a mad rush to recover this jet from the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. So they were able to do that, 12,400 feet in the water. They used a crane mounted on a diving support ship to pull up the jet. So the Chinese didn't get their hands on this piece of technology.
Now, how were they able to find it if it's so stealthy? That's the
Yeah.
right. That's question number one. It doesn't show up. How did you find it?
Well,
Yeah, good point.
you know, so obviously it wasn't that stealthy. So we got to go back to the drawing board and get something that we can't find
Exactly.
or that no one can find. Because
Then there wouldn't be a problem, right? If it was
Exactly.
so stealthy, we wouldn't be worried about the Chinese finding it. So it's like, obviously, we kind of messed up there.
yeah, they kind of knew. They're like, okay, we know it's not really stealth, right? Or else it would just disappear.
Yeah.
You know,
Get
but-
back to us when it works. Then we'll try to find it and steal it from you.
yeah,
Lose
your
another
military,
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
your military contractors at work.
Actually, one of the stealth helicopters they used on the raid for Osama bin Laden was destroyed. And it's thought that China obtained some of the parts from there. And their newly suspicious helicopters and planes look a lot like the American versions. So yeah, there's a lot of concern that the Chinese would go out there and grab this bit of high tech.
They just come in a little cheaper, though, right?
They
They look exactly alike.
Everything. And this one's kind of stealthy.
Yeah, I guess
Ah.
maybe they weren't in such a rush since they already hacked in and had all the blueprints from the Pentagon and contractor computers already.
Yeah, from TikTok. From all them people doing their little TikToks.
You and your TikToks, you sound like an old man.
With the TikToks. It's all on the
The
TikToks.
TikTok.
The TikToks and your interwebs.
Yeah, 'cause I can see some guy like at the Pentagon. All right, now I'm going to do the dance. Now put the fighter in the background. Make sure you get the fighter in the background.
Oh man.
There's a TikTok there somewhere. The
Yeah.
Chinese are like, they fell into our trap. We did it. We did it.
That's the
Success.
whole point of TikTok was to get
It's
them.
so easy. Oh my God.
We laid
I
the
can't
trap.
believe they did it.
We laid the trap and they just walked right into it.
You know, then again, when you got like a 19-year-old kid that's actually working on the stealth fighter on the carrier deck, that's probably why it fell off. Oh shit.
Whoops.
Where'd that go?
Am I going to get charged for that?
Yeah, I don't think the insurance is going to cover the F-35 loss. Yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
coming
might
out
be.
of my check, sir?
All right. I think that's it for this episode of Totally Baseless. Go out and watch the new Batman movie. Tell us what you think. Thanks for listening and see you next week. Thanks, Dave and Dan.
Adios.
See you next time. Or hear you next time.
Smell you later.
See you later. Okay.